or you're, like I don't even know what's a good example. But anyway, something that's like super anabolic that's like gonna make you huge.
Yeah.
Now you suck at muscle ups.
Yeah.
You're so big that your pecs get in the way. You can't handstand walk. Like there's so much body weight stuff in CrossFit that it would be a huge disadvantage to be that big.
Yeah, you want to be right around 200, not too much in either direction.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think that's an issue. I think that's why you're not seeing a ton of those types of steroids. And even what people pop for at regionals and the games aren't those types of steroids. Yeah. It's like SARMs or, something that's helping you in an aerobic way.
Yeah.
I just don't think there's that much of it.
Yeah.
I don't know how we got on that topic.
Oh, we were just talking about off seasons.
Off-season,
the off season was
okay.
longer. Yeah, I gotta agree with you, man. Because and you might not know this, but I lived in California for quite a few years, and so I had the chance to go to the games while I was down there because we were just like an hour south of it.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing Rich Froning out there on the field, who was accused of taking steroids a lot of times.
He's not that big.
And I looked at him, and I was just like, wait, because I almost had to squint because he was so far away, and I was just like, wait, that's Rich Froning. And I remember because I looked at him and I looked at all the people on the field next to him, and I was like, that's the last guy I would have guessed is on steroids compared to everybody else. I mean, yeah, he's proportional. All of his muscles are very proportional to each other, so it makes him look big. It makes him look. I mean, he is strong, obviously, but compared to some of the other athletes on the field, I was like, that guy does not look like he's taking steroids,
right?
And he's crushing the field,
right?
So I would agree with that. I don't think it would help.
It helps
that much.
Less than you would think.
Yeah, maybe more so with the recovery, or if you're taking certain, things that are illegal to take, that would help with recovery, but maybe not necessarily anabolic steroids.
Yeah, maybe. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not an expert on the drug side of things.
I watched like a podcast the other day on it, but like there were a lot of like 6-syllable words, and I'm like, I don't know what's going on. So I don't really, I don't know a lot about steroids.
I'm just trying to keep all the enzymes for the glycolytic system in my head. I don't have time to get all these steroid ones in my head. Exactly. Besides, I'm too cheap for that.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I barely can afford creatine. Those like $10. Yeah. Funny. So after this year, are you thinking like that's it, you're done, or you just want to kind of take it after this year is over and see from there?
I need to figure out exactly what school is going to look like. I'm not making any decisions now based on what that looks like. I just know what my like next 6-7 months needs to look like.
Do you think that there would be enough money to make a living off of if you guys do end up kind of like making it? Or do you feel like there's really not much money there to be had? You know what I'm saying?
For a guy like me, no.
Like
I don't see that. It's weird. The way that you make money in this sport is not through the sport. It's through, and it's not even through your sponsorships so much. It's like it is through your sponsorships, but it's like it's through your social media.
Yeah.
Which is weird. So like probably the people who are making more money than you'd think are the like attractive girls and attractive guys like physically who know how to take good pictures and good videos and stuff like that. Like the amount of money that's available on that stuff is bananas. Like, Brooke Entz or like Jacob Hepner making a bunch of money like through a YouTube channel. Oh, sorry. Those guys doing something through a YouTube channel is way more lucrative than even like if you're like a low level Reebok like sponsoree and you're just like getting free stuff. They're still not paying you. So your money's coming from sponsorships through like Instagram.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Yeah, Brooke Entz is a good example because she does have that physique that attracts a lot of people to follow her on Instagram or YouTube. But couple that with the fact that her husband is, what's this guy's
Marston.
name? Yeah, and he's like, he used to be, before all the firings happened.
Also RIP.
Yeah, he used to be part of the CrossFit HQ media team.
Right.
So that dude's killer with a camera.
Yeah.
You combine that with a woman who's got a great physique and like a great personality for, making YouTube videos fun and stuff. And then she comes out with a clothing line, so now she's got all that money to be had off of that. So you're right. I feel like that is kind of
the business side. Yeah. It's not like the amount of money that you make in this sport is not directly proportional to your fitness.
So why do it? Why do you want to keep competing? I mean, obviously you enjoy it, but
I do like it. I've realized recently that I like the training side way more than the competition side. Mm-hmm. But I've also realized in the last couple like weeks, honestly, it's kind of a recent thing. It's just like you do so much training and you have a pretty limited time in which to do this as much as you do it. And like, you need to make more of it in terms of like the competition side. You need to test yourself more.
Yeah.
Instead of like just doing the training and like, yes, I am, this fit, but I need to go out and like prove that against other people in the actual sport, even if it's like way more like nerve-wracking and like annoying to do that type of stuff. It's like that's what I need to be doing.
I think you and I are similar with that mindset.
Yeah.
I've, like you said, in baseball, that was one of your favorite things, was just the training part.
Oh, yeah.
When I was in high school, I remember I kind of liked the conditioning sessions more than anything, and I was just like, let's just do more of this. This is fun. And everyone else, would just hate the running drills. I'm like, what are you guys talking about? It's the best part of the day. And, even going into the Marines when I was in the military, I remember it kind of sounds sick, but I actually really enjoyed all the tough training sessions. And eventually they put me in charge to do that to other people and make the training sessions for them. And I just remember like just loving the training side of things. And as a result, I don't compete that often. I mean, actually, I think I've only competed 3 times my entire CrossFit career outside of the open, just because I enjoy the training so much. I mean, I enjoy the training so much, and the competing is so... It's nerve-wracking. Well,
being in Wichita too is really inconvenient. Like,
in what way?
For competing, like there's no events.
What do you mean, dude? There's events every week here
in Wichita. There's no CrossFit competitive events.
Well, what do you mean by competitive?
Like a CrossFit competition.
Yeah, there are.
Like, I haven't heard of like any of them.
Dude, there's so many of them that now there's like not many people going anymore because there's like too many of them.
I'm not on.
You're not aware of this?
I'm not on Facebook, so like I don't get on them very much apparently. But yeah, I don't know. Apparently I'm wrong when I say that. My bad.
Oh, no, that's all good.
But it's not like Kansas City where there's like an established like competitive community and like there's multiple gyms that send like teams to regionals and stuff like that. So at that level, I think it's more convenient to compete. But
dude, this is what I'm going to try and do. Check this out. This is already going. I guess I'm going to broadcast it. Oh well. But what I'm going to try and do is get there like Fittest in Wichita. I'm going to try and go over to WSU and try and let us use the football field. Get a couple of the CrossFit gyms in the area, and we'll basically just all split the profit, and we'll all split the amount of equipment and the judges. So we'll just have one like big event.
That'd be cool.
Instead of like all these small little events from gym to gym. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That'd be a lot more fun, and it'd get out in the public a lot more because you got the big bleachers there. You do a couple of those workouts like from the games where they have to like run up the bleachers and throw sandbags.
Oh man, that'd be gnarly.
That'd be really fun, right?
Can you imagine doing the sandbag event at WSU?
Oh
my
dude.
God, you'd die. It's so tall.
It is so tall.
That's funny.
Yeah, handstand walk the football field because they don't really use it outside of track, so it's not like they're going to be nervous that we tear it up for their football team.
It's turf too, right?
Dude, I don't know. I haven't been there.
I don't know.
But I think that'd be a lot more fun. Instead of having all these little competitions that, there might be like one sponsor there. This one, there'd be a lot more sponsors there, bringing in their stuff, and there'd be a huge crowd, and just really be in the public eye, as opposed to in all these little garage gyms, that's my goal anyway.
Yeah, that'd be really cool.
Yeah, and then you can just destroy everybody, and you won't even have to drive very far. We'll have a nice prize money, too, $250 to first place winner. That'll buy your creatine for the year. How's that sound?
That would. I don't take much creatine.
Oh, you don't?
Well, no, I do, but like it goes a long way.
Yeah, it does. I know. Like $10 goes a long way. Yeah. So as the next 8 months, I'm curious to see what's going to happen for you as far as being an athlete. I'm very curious.
I'm curious just to see what the actual like season looks like for everybody.
Yeah.
Like once the games rolls around, like what's the quality of competition that they roll out there?
Yeah, I'm nervous. I'm feeling like it's going to be just a super one-sided competition. You know what I mean?
It was a one-sided competition anyways.
Yeah.
Matt
Matt
was crushing everybody.
Can we just give him the $300,000 check?
And you might as well. Yeah, you might as well just like you might as well pencil his name in there.
The girls were much more entertaining this year, I felt.
I think Tia even ran away with it, but Laura Horvath kind of was a bright spot for the games this year because she was so unknown, and then to come in and get second was pretty cool.
Yeah. Where are you going to go to the PT school, by the way? If you
I don't know. I applied to a lot of places.
Okay. Is it going to be...
I'm not sure.
Are some of them in town or at WSU?
I applied to WSU, but so a lot of other places, like all the way from like Missouri to like Utah.
Is your girlfriend going to be cool with that?
We're not dating anymore.
Oh, you're not dating anymore?
No.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Can I delete this part?
I don't care. It's whatever.
So are you a single man right now?
No, I'm dating somebody else now.
Well, that counts then. Is your current girlfriend going to be cool with that?
Yeah. It would depend on where it is, but
okay. Yeah. Well, man, Utah's kind of an underrated state. That state is awesome.
Yeah, I have an interview at that school in December, so I'm interested to see what that's going to look like. I'm pretty excited for that. Just got my plane ticket last night, which I wasn't excited about, but still.
How much was that? How much was that?
Yeah, it was expensive.
Don't want to talk about it?
Not really.
So I know we spent a lot of time talking about the athlete side of things. I'd like to get into a little bit on the, you've done a lot. Like you've owned a gym, coached, PT school potentially in the future, exercise science, all that. I kind of want to go into a little bit of, I think right now you're definitely an athlete first because you kind of have to be.
Right. Well, I'm really not doing anything else that's more important than that.
Right. Because it kind of takes all your energy.
It does. Yeah. It takes a
lot. How did the transition from being a novice CrossFit athlete to now I want to coach and own a gym, how did that transition all happen? Like what really brought you into the sense that you wanted to be a coach, that you wanted to be a gym owner? Was it kind of just like it's associated with being an athlete, or what really drew you to that?
Well, I think it started with, and especially in a lot of like smaller gyms, like the competitive athletes are there so much, and they have a better grasp of the movements, that usually like a gym owner will kind of ask them if they want to coach.
Yeah.
And that's what happened to me. I started coaching it back at the time it was AMP.
Yeah.
And then is really serendipitous that I started doing it, owning the gym. Didn't know what I wanted to do after school, and the guy who owned it wanted to either sell it or close it, and so I was able to buy it for a pretty cheap price as far as an entire gym goes.
Yeah.
And yeah, really just kind of fell into it, and I do love coaching. I wouldn't have done it if I don't love coaching.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was very just it was not planned out a whole lot in advance.
Yeah.
And just kind of like fell into it.
Yeah. I guess because part of this podcast can be for listeners that are also thinking about opening up their own gyms.
Oh, yeah.
Or just are on the business side of things a lot.
Yeah.
What kind of advice would you give to someone who's thinking about purchasing a gym, that already exists, or starting up their own gym? Like, what are some of the things you wish you would have done, or things that you thought went really well that you're like, yeah, I nailed that one. You know what I mean?
I think the one thing that I'm really glad I did is that I didn't have a partner. I know that's for some people that's not financially feasible to not have a partner, but it really helps to like, you think you agree with people on everything until you go into business with them, and then you realize how much you're going to butt heads. So I'm really glad that at the end of the day, it was the direction that I wanted to go in. It was my vision, and nobody was there kind of being like, but what about this? And that's not to say I didn't have people helping me with like advice, and it's not to say I didn't take that advice super often, but having like 100% of this is what's happening is a really nice thing to have. In terms of stuff you should be aware of, I don't know. Probably start smaller than you think you need to. CrossFit being so different now than when it started. Now there are, gyms like CrossFit Mayhem that are 20,000 square feet with, 20 assault runners and 20 ski ergs. And, you think you have to compete with that. You don't have to compete with that. Not overreaching and like constantly feeling like you have to, go out and bring in 50 clients, is a nice thing to have to, so just grow organically.
Yeah.
Man, I don't know. I haven't thought about this in a while. It's almost been a full year since I've owned the gym.
Has it really?
January. So
January,
getting close to a year.
Time has just flown by this year, man.
It's been a crazy year.
Yeah.
I would say be selective in who you allow to be a member. Like you never have to be like desperate.
Yeah.
Like you should never be desperate just to like have somebody's money.
Yeah.
If they are bad for the community, if they are bad for business, you need to be pretty swift to either say like, hey, this needs to stop and make sure it does stop, or say it's, I think you need to find a different place to go.
Do you have any like, obviously don't name names unless you want to, that's cool with me. But do you have any like specific examples of something? Cause communities first. I think you can probably agree
Absolutely.
with that. Communities first. If for those of you that are wanting to own a gym or coaches at a gym, community always comes first. So, and that's a touchy subject when it comes to vetting, members.
Yeah.
Do you have any specific examples of, that being a situation and it actually worked out really well, telling them like, hey, it's just we're not the right people for you.
I've never had to tell anybody directly, like, I need you to leave.
Mm-hmm.
But if you do a good job of creating a culture of